Hi, I'm Mark Massara. For so many of you, I recognize your faces. We've done this before. I'm really excited to be back in San Clemente, despite the fact that our big hearing tomorrow is not going forward. We're going forward tonight. You know, this is our party, and I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight, and we'll talk a little bit more about where we've been, what we've accomplished, and where we're going. And also I'm going to show some slides. And the first thing I wanted to do, if possible, if we could turn down the lights a little bit so we can see these things. Maybe just this row. Hey, that'll work. So now it's getting real. My first question for you was, does anyone know why this woman is so happy?
It's because I'm paid tons of money.
It's not because she makes so much money in Sierra. Robin is so happy because the state of California has denied TCA's 241 toll road. And that is in large part due to all of the hard work from you and so many thousands of others who work for years and years and years to ensure that this project never comes to fruition. Why don't we go to the next slide? This is what TCA wanted to build. It's a visual representation. And this freeway would have been literally right on top of the San Mateo campground at San Onofre State Park, would have been bisected by this road. I'm not telling you anything new, except if you just happen to come into the building tonight, we're going to fully arm you with all the facts and all the information that you need to be able to effectively participate in to make sure that TCA doesn't pull any more monkey business or shenanigans with respect to this road. I'm going to pick on TCA just a little bit more. Here's a cartoon related to their continuous efforts, lobbying and legal expenditures, taxpayers' money, your money, by the way, supplied to them by the federal government, to attack the environment and your reputations and credibility here in Orange County and San Diego County, anyone literally that's willing to stand up and raise concerns about this project. This is something that I've been doing for many, many years. I've been as mean and nasty and deliberately cruel and hurtful toward TCA as I possibly can be. And I've got a bit of an admission or begrudging admiration for them tonight, because I've got to say that with this latest campaign to disparage surfers, they really have lived down below everything I've ever said about them. It's incredible the way that they operate, the legal and the scientific incompetence, the massive expenditures of our money to literally try to ram this project down our throats have been going on now for over 10 years. We're not going to try to cover the entire 10 years tonight. What we're going to try to do is just the last year. Since the Coastal Commission denied this project in February, what's happened? And a lot has happened in the last couple of weeks, as some of you know. Starting in May, the TCA did exactly what they were entitled under the law to do, and that is that the moment that the state of California denied the project and essentially killed it, the TCA appealed to the federal government, the Secretary of Commerce, who's been working with NOAA. NOAA handles coastal zone management issues for the coastal states, to appeal that decision and try to override the state of California and the California Coastal Commission's determination. This is a separate process from the two lawsuits that the state of California and the environmental coalitions have going against TCA, and entirely separate from the third lawsuit that we filed against TCA last week for violations of the Endangered Species Act and their deliberate efforts to drive into extinction the pocket mouse and other wildlife and plant species out at San Onofre. This is TCA's original letter to the federal government opposing any public hearing whatsoever. Now this flies in the face with what you've been reading in the Orange County Register and other local papers over the last couple of weeks, where if you were just new to this issue, you might think that TCA actually supports public participation in this process. Originally, and the facts are that they never wanted another public hearing, that they hated every moment of the Coastal Commission's public hearing in February. And in fact, this has been going on for years. For them, public silence is what they like. This is the original NOAA letter that came out in June, where they gave sort of a very cryptic announcement that they would be having a hearing and that it would be at the Bren Center at UC Irvine, but they weren't quite sure when, which of course made it really difficult for us to start organizing and educating people as to when the meeting was going to be. That caused a whole flurry of letters back and forth, but at the same time, our Lieutenant Governor, John Garamendi, wrote to the federal government and demanded that the federal government stop having secret meetings and negotiations with TCA, which had also just come to light. So here TCA is a party to an appeal, and the Secretary of Commerce is supposed to be acting as the judge, and instead of being an independent, operator in overseeing this appeal, they're having secret meetings with TCA. Our next slide here comes just last week. A local congressman who has managed to effectively steer millions and millions of dollars of your money to TCA to lobby for this road is himself invested in this TCA and stands to make money if this project is approved. Now, he doesn't see any problem with this because he says if he wasn't rich and he didn't have all these investments, he would still support the toll road. All right, this is another letter from the federal government dated July 11th, wherein the Secretary announces that the Bren Center is back out of the hearing that was scheduled for tomorrow because they're concerned that the public, there would be there's too much public interest in the public hearing. Too many people that want to participate in the public hearing, so it has to be canceled. There was great concern initially, and still today, frankly, that the Secretary of Commerce might cancel the public hearing altogether. And this is because the Secretary of Commerce views their legal discretion over this appeal process as being extremely broad. They have the ability to have public hearings or not to have public hearings, and to establish a framework for evidence and public hearings in virtually any manner that they want. Even in this letter, the Secretary of Commerce was saying that they were going to try to find another venue for the hearing tomorrow. And so even as of the middle of July, we had no idea whether the hearing was going to be going forward, and if so, where. And so the LA Times, you may have seen the editorial there. I think the next slide is the Environmental Coalition sent letters that said, look, you need to comply with federal regulations. You need to establish a hearing, you have to have a date and a place, and it has to be published so that we have 30 days notice of where to go and how to participate. That caused, and at the same time the Coastal Commission wrote to the federal government and said, hey, look, we could do it at the Del Mar Fairgrounds again. It worked. And TCA responded, now they're demanding a public hearing, and they found just the place. The Anaheim Convention Center is where they really want to have the meeting because it's so far away from San Onofre and San Diego County.
We'll go.